I've just unloaded all of the building materials. We still have a bit over at Noah's Sawmill to go and collect, and we will of course need to unload them at the other end as well. Oh my god, it's a tornado warning. Look at this. Happy to help Stan mend up his farmhouse. He said that he's got an old sprayer. Look at this plucky little thing. Take it over to our farm and hopefully we can get our crop sprayed up. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the American Dream at Riverbend Springs. It is still June time, and Riverbend is still recovering from the tornado strike that occurred previously. It did impact some of the locals, of which Farmer Stan we helped out last time, and in return for helping out Farmer Stan by boarding up his farmhouse and getting his tractor upturned and cutting down some trees, he lent us his old sprayer, and we were able to clear the weeds in our oat field. So all the weeds have been zapped now, which is really good. But yeah, we look forward to harvest time. There's a slight concern that the moisture of the field is looking a little bit low, but I see there is rain on the forecast. So I'm hoping that is going to replenish our oats with much needed nourishment from the rain. But as the temperature has been on the rise, I think it's time to lose the jacket and just work in the t-shirt. There we go. That is much better in this heat. Right, I think the first job that we have got to do today is the cement we picked up from the cement factory needs moving over to our little building material stash over the road. So let's hop in and we can get this dropped off. Reverse back onto the road. Watch out for the telegraph pole and the rather crazy locals that like to drive and bump into us on occasion. But yes, we'll get this cement moved in under our shed. That is the best place for it, alongside our other building materials. And then I think we're going to do a little bit of a equipment reorg, because we've got our 2 tractors and a flurry of farm equipment that we should really move under cover here at the shed. So I think that's what we're going to do. If I back up the trailer into the shed, should hopefully be able to speed up the job of removing bag by bag all of the cement. There we go, 25 kgs a bag, so yeah, it's quite an ordeal getting it moved, but that is tucked away there quite nicely. And I think we could probably park the trailer in here as well. We are only going to use half of this shed because I don't really want to be taking over all of it. Walter is using the other half, and he hasn't put anything in here yet, but I'm sure he will. So we don't want him to come here and find that we've just taken over the whole shed. But we can drop off the trailer and we can actually just park up the truck for now. So I'm going to get all the equipment and tractors hustled over here, and then we should have a nice tidy shed. And there we go. That's all the equipment stashed off in the shed quite nicely. I think I thought I had more equipment than I actually had at one point, because I went back with the John Deere and there was nothing more to collect. And it was just the Alice Chalmers and the seed drill left. But that's all tucked up in here quite nicely now. And yeah, I'm actually very proud of what we've been able to establish here. Obviously we are in partnership with Walter on this shed, but yeah, things are looking good. We've got everything neatly tucked away, so it's not in and around our living quarters, which is nice. In fact, I think this is actually worthy of a photo. Our first farm shed. Very nice. I'll have to show Walter this and make sure he's happy with how much we are using the shed. He's always been very encouraging, Walter, which is good. Now, the sun has been beaming on my head, so I think I'll fetch my cap from the pickup. There we go. That should help keep the sun off us. Right, not sure what else we are going to do today, so let's hop in the pickup and might head into town and see what's going on. Perhaps we can check in at the cafe and see if there's any work going. Oh, I think that's my phone. Let me just pull up to the side. Ah, yes, okay, looks to be the sheriff. Could do with your help. Got a proposition for you. Let's chat in my office, Sheriff Bob. Okay, well, sounds like the sheriff has got something in mind for us. I'm curious to hear what it is, and if it means work, then that is a good thing. So yeah, let's scurry over to the sheriff's office and see what he has got to say. Now, I do hope to at some point to reach out to David as well, who helped us with the farmers market truck trailer, and see if there's anything we can do to help him out. But he hasn't contacted us yet, so maybe something will come up in the future. Ah yes, where the tornado struck. Looks like the fire department and the forest guys are still assessing the damage there. Right, I made it to the sheriff, so let's see what he has got to say. Morning, Sheriff. Hey, Sheriff, how are you doing? Yeah, we're all good, thanks. Yeah, not a problem. Happy to help Farmer Stan out with his farmhouse. It's terrible what happened, breaking all of his windows and damaging his property. I'm only too pleased that we can help. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened with Noah and why he wasn't contactable. I did see that it looked like the tornado had gone very near his sawmill, and his forklift looked like it was in a bit of a sorry state. But yeah, have you not heard from him? Oh right, I wonder if he's okay. Strange you haven't heard from him. But that's why you need us, right? Ah, I see. Yeah, I did wonder what was going to be needed where all those trees were damaged. I imagined it would need to be cleared. Oh, I see. The Forestry Commissioner's sending some equipment to help clear the trees. And with Noah AWOL, we're the next best person to help. Well, sure, Sheriff. We'll give it our best bet. But, what's in it for us? Okay, I understand that there's, no money to be made. But, what about the wood that's cut down? I see. Well, this gives me a bit of an idea. I might have to go and chat to Walter about a couple of things. But yeah, let me get back to you, Sheriff. Oh, blimey. What a convoy. Oh, I tell you what, that rig that just drove by was pretty epic. Looked to have a log trailer and some sort of low loader with a wood grapple and another thing that looked like it winched wood, which yeah, was pretty cool. Not seen equipment that big before. But I'm going to be heading over to Walter's because the sheriff has given us an interesting proposition. Obviously, Noah at the moment is uncontactable. He's not answering the sheriff's phone calls, and he wasn't there when we spun past the sawmill last time. So I'm not really sure what's up with him. But because he's not contactable, the sheriff has no one else to turn to help sort out the wood situation that has been caused by the tornado. The trees that have been destroyed are unsafe and they need to be chopped down, and the local state forestry commission has kindly delivered some equipment to help Riverbend sort out the problem, which is pretty fast and efficient of them, if I'm honest. But the problem is they don't have anyone who can conduct the job of cutting down the trees, getting them winched into position and loaded away, and obviously having the wood taken care of. So the sheriff has turned to us, and I have a bit of an idea. And the idea is that if we take on this job, we could potentially take the wood and stash it where we have the shed with all of the building materials, and potentially with a bit of Walter's help, we could look to set up some sort of small sawmill of our own. And that could really benefit Riverbend because it looks like Noah is out of action at the moment. So I was going to go to Walter and discuss the idea, as we will really need his approval. There he is, good old Walter. Hey Walter, how you doing? Oh yeah, it's great to see you, and I'm so pleased that you guys were unaffected by the tornado. And yeah, I'm glad Katie is alright as well. I was a little bit worried about her. The reason I come to see you is because the sheriff has given us a bit of a proposition this morning. Noah seems to be a little bit AWOL at the moment, so the sheriff has turned to us to help clear some of the damaged trees from the tornado. And it's given me a bit of an idea. We could potentially set up a small sawmill operation of our own. And might be beneficial, especially whilst Noah seems to be uncontactable and potentially his sawmill is out of action. Well, if you're happy for us to do it, it would mean stashing a good amount of wood and logs behind the shed, which we're obviously occupying at the moment on your land. And it would also mean, when ready, setting up some sort of saw and cutting station. Yeah, it did cross my mind what Noah might think of this, but he's not around at the moment, so I'm sort of looking to try and jump on the opportunity. Oh, great. That's fantastic. Well, it's good to have your approval, Walter. And sure, yeah, if we need anything, we'll come knocking. Brilliant. Well, yeah, you take care, Walter. We'll see you later. See you later, Walter. Well, this is excellent news. It seems like Walter is happy for us to use the area behind the shed, which we are sharing, to stash a good supply of logs and timber, which we are going to collect from the area where the damaged tornado trees are, and we could potentially use that wood in the future to turn into building materials ourselves. I'm not quite sure how we might do it, but we could look to get some sort of buzzsaw and cutting station so we could make planks and beams of our own. I think Walter does kind of share some of our concern that I wonder what Noah's going to think of all this. After all, he has the monopoly of the building material and wood and sawmill orientated business, but he's not contactable at the moment, so yeah, doesn't mean that everything has to stop. And be honest, it might be a cheaper way for us to source more building materials to help build our farmhouse, and also maybe to turn into our first business. Right, so I'm just going to quickly nip back into the sheriff's office, tell him that we are happy to accept the proposal and offer, as yeah, it's going to work really well for us by not giving us any money, but by giving us a good supply of wood to potentially turn into money. Hello, Sheriff. Well, that was very quick. The Sheriff is quite busy, but yeah, we've accepted the Sheriff's offer, and we are going to head on down to the site where the damaged trees are, and sort of commandeer the equipment, and get cracking with the job at hand. We will have to take a little look, do a bit of an assessment ourselves. Now, this is going to be quite the undertaking. We've only done some deadwood clearing contracts for Noah in the past, ironically Noah, because seems like we are kind of taking over things a little bit from Noah whilst he's absent and not contactable. But yeah, the job needs to be done, and we're going to give it a fair old bash. Jesus, look at all these trees. And it does seem to stem on quite far down to the riverbank. But let's just park up here and we can have a little look. Boy, oh boy, look at all these damaged trees. But to be honest with you, at the moment I'm just seeing lots of wooden dollars. Fantastic. Oh yeah, we can certainly turn this large volume of wood into building materials, and that's going to help us out, and could even draw a profit if we were to sell them. We've seen how expensive these sort of materials are in the warehouse, so yeah, we could make quite a bit of money. So there's a tree down there, a small cluster of trees here, but the main bulk seems to be up here in and amongst the bushes. Right, we'll have to see what we can do to cut these down. I only have my axe in the pickup. Well, we're certainly going to need to cut down the trees first and get them de-limbed. There's only some small twigs on them, so that should be quite easy. But we've only got our axe at the moment, so I wonder if there's something that can make the job a little bit easier. Right, so the Forestry Commission has loaded up what looks to be some sort of mini bulldozer, if that's what you'd call it. It has a shovel on the front, I assume for pushing and shunting logs, and it looks like there's some large winch equipment on the back. I assume that's for grabbing trees and dragging them to places. And then this looks to be some sort of crane loader. It's got a mighty log grab on the front of it. Wow, this is quite beastly. I probably shouldn't mention to the Forestry Commission that I'm not really qualified to be using this equipment, but Sheriff Bob didn't seem to bring that into question, so I'm certainly not. Oh, what's this? I've just spotted on here we have a chainsaw. Now that is very much going to come in handy for cutting down all of these trees. So I think the plan is we'll cut down all of the trees, de-limb them, and then use the machine for winching to pull them into a pile to hopefully be able to load them up onto the trailer easier. And then once we have a load, we can take it over to our shed and unload them, and then keep them there until we've got some sort of wood processing operation. So let's take this pallet off, shall we, and drop it down here. We can grab the chainsaw. Ooh, it's fired into life already. Wow, this is pretty cool. We have used a chainsaw before, but it was a long time ago. So I think what we'll do is we'll start up top, chop them all down, and then yeah, once we've chopped down and done the de-limbing, we can move on to winching into a pile. Well, ladies and gentlemen, stop your chainsaw engines, because we have finished cutting down all of the damaged trees. It is a bit of a graveyard, a wood graveyard at the moment, because all the trees are laying slain here by partially the tornado and partially by me hacking away with the chainsaw. Now, it did take some time. The chainsaw is very good at cutting, but these trees are quite thick, especially towards the base, so yeah, it did take a while to cut through all of them, and I did have to cut away some of the bushes and shrubbery, which was going to sort of impede our vision of the trees. There's a few here that I have not cut, so I think I probably will just remove them as we are going. But the next job is going to be winching, and I've got a couple of rogue ones along the riverbank to go and fetch from afar, and I'll drag them back up towards the main area, or the main bulk area of where the trees are. That should be good for bushes. But there we go. That is the bushes cleared, the trees cut down, delimbed as well, and we removed the stumps with the chainsaw as well. So that's not going to impede us getting in and close to where we need to be to winch the logs out. Right, I guess we better see about unloading some of this equipment. Alright, we can put the chainsaw back into the pallet for now. We are not going to be needing it, and we can probably just stash it right in the front section of the trailer there. Right, I have just lowered the ramp, and the straps have been undone as well. So we can start to unload this equipment, and we can take a bit of a closer inspect on it. Here we have got the Liebherr LH26, so this is our log grapple, which is going to help with the loading. Let's hop in if we can. There we go. All this modern equipment is quite exciting to be able to use. But let's drive off gingerly from the ramp, and hopefully can dismount easily. There we go. That is looking good. There we go. We'll give ourselves a good amount of space. We're not going to be needing this just yet, so we can shut it down. And we can head into this Zeta 81 Turbo. Wow, this is pretty cool. Definitely built for forestry, this thing. I'm going to have to jump up here. Oh, jump up here and get in. Oh, certainly not as modern, but sounds quite beastly. Let's slowly make our way off. There we go. Well, this is what we are initially going to need to winch these logs into some sort of organised pile. And yeah, it looks to have a blade on the front which we can raise and lower, which is going to be handy. So I think what we might do is start to drag some of these logs from the bottom portion here up towards the centre, and that's going to clear a path for us to get some of those stragglers along the riverbank. So let's just pull up here and see how many logs we can actually attach. I'm guessing we can attach a few at a time. So we should be able to grab one of these straps and lash it to the tree. There we go. And there's only the one here at the moment, but we should be able to then pull this. There we go. Wow, it's got a good amount of strength, this. Fantastic. Right, yeah, we can pull this and shunt it into a position. I think here's going to probably be alright, and we can detach like so, and then the idea being we should be able to use the blade on the front to let's lower that, and we can try and push it straight. There we go. Right, so there's going to be a lot of pushing and winching to do, but leave that with me and we'll try and make some organisation out of this chaos. Right. Well, that was quite an ordeal as well. And I soon learned that this wincher, bulldozer, or skidder, whatever you want to call it, is only capable of winching one of these mighty logs. And seems like these are very heavy because, yeah, it cannot manage two. It was really tipping it and making it rear its front like some sort of bull or horse. So yeah, the has done a very good job, but yeah, we've had to do them sort of one by one when winching. So I was predominantly using the blade on the front to push and shunt rather than pull. That seemed to work a little bit better in regards to the weight of these logs. And I've organised them into 3 piles. Now, it's not the straightest. I'm not quite liking how close this pile is so close to this pile, so I might have to just do a little bit of work to separate them out and straighten them up a little bit. But this is looking pretty good down here, nice and neat for us to come and pick up with the log grapple and see about getting a load onto the trailer. We'll have to see how well we do. But we've cleared all the trees down the riverbank and in this entire section. So it is nicely organised ready for us to load up. But that has involved quite a lot of work over the last few hours, so I think we are going to take a break, and next time we will look to load up the logs and get some back to our storage area. But that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, then feel free to leave a comment. But all that's left to say is, hope to see you again next time on The American Dream at Riverbend Springs. And until then, catch you later. Cheers all. Bye bye.